no doubt there is a challenge for the sale, but Pune market will digest all these unsold inventory. Unsold doesn't mean that it is a ready project. Unsold means the person has started the project, even it is in the initial stage of excavation also. Sometimes people feel that unsold means the 90,000 flats are unsold in Pune, means lock and key. No, that is not the situation. People are well aware that Pune market is the best market in India. You talk to any consultants or take any review, opinion of the experts, Pune is the strongest market because the rates are reasonable, moderate, and when we say that we have to launch the project, we are confident that we are going to sell the project. Another thing is that when we invest in the land, we invest in the approvals, and everything is at cost, maybe the borrowed money, which costs us. Then to repay the cost, we must announce the project, we must launch the project, and the situation of the Pune is driven by n number of growth engines. So builders are confident that this may happen for 1 month or so, but we will be able to sell the project. It's a continuous process of before launching the project, purchase of the land, we have to invest, getting clear title, getting the sanctions, all approvals, and then the launch of the project. So we need to have it more, or if you go with the past, though the market was little bit down in the other parts of the city, other parts of the country, Pune was the exception that way compared to others, and that's why we are confident, or rather every builder is confident that 90,000 is the sale for 1 year, because uh, the digesting power of the Pune market is around 90,000 flats. So it's a question of 12, 14 months. And again, as I said, that it is in the stages we are in the project. It is not the lock and key project. So all the builders are confident about the sale of the project.
Thank you. Sonal, in the past, you do a lot of, apart from funding customers, HDFC also finances builders for their construction finance. With the increase in the number of projects, have you seen an increase in the demand for construction finance from developers?
Yeah, we've most certainly seen an increase in the demand, and this is really primarily due to the fact that developers in the current situation would like to have a financial closure before they really get started, so that in the larger interest of the buying, people who buy the units, and of course in the larger interest of the project completion, they don't end up, in a spot should the demand not be as expected. So I think, taking a cue from what Mr. Kataria said, the demand is most certainly there. The fundamentals are very strong. And I think Pune is really a matured market. So we are going to see the kind of growth, a good offtake, and because of which I think the projects are not going to slow down. It's only going to keep pace, and the way the developers are coming to us requesting for finance, I think we are very much there supporting them. We only would like to make sure that we take adequate caution, and we make sure that things are tied up, so that in the larger interest of the project, as I said earlier, we make sure that things go as planned and they don't go awry, because ultimately that's going to hurt the customer the most.
Sanjay, you guys have, JLL has the unique opportunity where you do residential sales across the market for many different developers, right? So how do you see sales moving? Do you see numbers moving? Do you see it a slowdown? What's your sense of the overall market and numbers?
Rohit, first let me compliment you for this data. It's absolutely superb. I don't think anybody is doing this kind of detailing across the country. So many research firms are there, including the likes of us, but we don't have this kind of micro data. So this is fantastic. Really deserves a round of applause for this sort of data. Your question on how do we see the sales? So I agree with Mr. Kataria. It is a little bit sentiment governed at the moment, but I don't think there is anything to panic about in this particular market per se. So let me just sort of reflect back on your data. If the inventory overhang is about 90,000 units currently, and the real demand across 3,000 projects is somewhere thereabouts. So you're really talking of a demand supply gap at the moment of only 1 year. Now, if I compare this or corroborate this with a NCR or a Mumbai, and a lot of people would have read various reports that how the demand supply inventory overhang is in the region of 3 years. So clearly from that perspective, Pune is already well guarded. As regards the sales, I mean, most people are aware that the real momentum is between probably the 4,000 rupees to the 5,500 rupee per square feet mark. So that's where the sales are to the maximum, and that's where they are really moving. In the super luxury segment, I would admit that the customer is very cautious, and he just chooses between few developers. I think a lot more developers have jumped in without understanding the real super luxury segment. But if you keep that on one side, overall the sales are quite optimistic. I also feel that investors stroke end users are waiting for some kind of a price reduction, which I don't think is going to happen. I really don't think, because if you again reflect back at Rohit's data, all he said was that the price appreciation was about 3% in the last year. So I don't see there's any question of any further price cut. In fact, from this point, there will be an upward movement for the buyer, and it is an opportunity to buy. Also, one has to take into account that you don't buy real estate, or you don't take a real estate decision over 1 year. So your decision is not based on a 2014 or a 2012 statistics or a 2013 statistics. You're taking a long decision. You actually want to live there. Pune has a very decent amount of end users in the market. So you're taking a long position, and when you're taking a long position, I think the price point is, quite attractive.
Sonal, I'm going to just come back to you. Two-part question. When it comes to mortgages, how has HDFC's loan dispersal been over the last 12 months, 18 months? And the other question which we all need to know is, where are interest rates headed and when?
Well, that's anybody's guess. I mean, I'll take the second question first. It's anybody's guess where the interest rates are headed. I can only say that we've started to see the first round of reduction, albeit it's not been maybe very significant, but I think a lot of these things are to do with with the first sign or signals, as we say. And I think the signal is very positive. We, with the first 2 rounds of interest rate drops having happened, we can hope, or we can expect to see maybe a couple of more rounds of interest rate correction over the next year. As far as the HDFC's loan disbursals go, we've actually seen a decent growth in our disbursals, and it's contrary to the sentiment, or contrary to the belief that business or sales are very much down. HDFC's disbursals have actually grown, and they have 2 or 3 good reasons for this. One is that, as we've seen here, it's really the affordable segment that's selling the fastest. And this segment is also the segment that takes loans. And if you see HDFC is also really more into the middle class, housing. So that's the housing we really largely support. So all things put together, I think the sales are in that segment. HDFC also caters to this segment. And there's one other thing, which is that, when the situation or the market is the way it is, I think it's the, people who can offer the right package, if I may use that word. They are the people who are going to really do well. And uh, whilst HDFC's lending rates have not been the lowest in the market, probably HDFC's package or the offering that we have for our customers is probably the right fit, and which is why we believe that our disbursals have grown, because we've possibly also gained market share. So it's the package of the interest rates, the service, the reach, everything put together, which is what has really helped. And I think this is what will also help the developers, because it's actually not just the price, because then only the lowest would sell. The real estate is really also as much a package as everything else is. So if you have the right value proposition for the customer, we are not going to be really not selling. And I think the Pune real estate market, if we see, and just to, we have a sense of the market across the country, and I can really say that this market is probably one of the more matured markets. And when I say matured, it's more sensible, I would say. It's not as volatile. It does not react as violently as most other markets do. So it's more stable, it's more affordable, and it's really the end user market. We don't see bulk sales by brokers happening. We really see developers selling to end users, and which is what makes the market fundamentally strong. So I think it's these things put together which has really helped the market be where it is, and it has helped HDFC also grow its disbursals.
So that's certainly reassuring that we're going to see interest rates drop. The question, we can't look into the future and say when. So Mr. Kataria, I have a two-part question for you. One is, as interest rates go down, what do you see as the impact? How is the kind of impact to residential demand? And two is, if this is indeed the reality of the situation, why is there so much talk of negativity? Why is there so much? Why is the mood so negative, when all we're hearing is things are not as bad?
See, mood comes from the central level, from all over the country, and real estate market is a sentimental market, touchy market, what we call as little bit near and dear का जो market बोलते हैं वैसा market. It is not like that the some corporate is selling and we are purchasing. It is an emotional market, and emotions comes from the outside. People talk about the overall sentiment of the country, and Pune it is feel अरे वो हमारा ही market है. See, there is a lot of difference between the NCR market, North region market, South region market. As both of them said that Pune is a moderate market. Here the real purchasers comes over there. And who creates this hype? अरे market खराब है वगैरह वगैरह. People know about it. I will not comment on it. But the fact is that the Pune market is very matured, and if the interest rates come down, lot many people are waiting for this opportunity. If the interest rates come down, which everybody is hoping, including me, then those who are on the fence, they will again start thinking to buy the product. But I am confident that whenever you purchase, it is the right time to purchase as far as Pune real estate market is concerned. Because this is not share that एक साल में बेचते 2 साल में बेचते. It's a long term investment. 2 मंदे आएगी, तेजी आएगी, चलता रहेगा. But in long term, last 50 years, everybody will see that in real estate, if one thinks of the long term, he will be in win-win situation, and he will feel that यार उसी दिन का decision मेरा सही decision था. But this type of things, that interest rate is reducing, that boosts the sale, because that boosts the purchase mind of the client. He want to purchase. He want to purchase only in Pune. But the mood should be there. I think this, because of the coming down of the interest rates, his mood will be more effective for the sale.
So, as we look forward, I think certainly interest rates look like they're heading in the right direction. One of the other big drivers for Pune's residential demand comes from the IT sector, and I think Sanjay is very well positioned to talk to us a little bit about how is leasing going, are spaces being occupied, what's happening there? Do we see new jobs being created, and what's your outlook with that in mind?
Sure. So Rohit, I'll give a macro perspective. During the GFC, the global financial crisis, the India office demand had dropped down to some 26 or 27 million square feet. During that same period, Pune's office actual absorption was in the range of 3.2 million square feet, 2.9 million square feet in fact. And now that 26 has bounced back to 31 million square feet. So say about 10%, 15% up. But in the corresponding period, Pune moved up from 3 to 4.5. So Pune has taken a larger share and the office absorption has moved from 3 to 4.5 means 50% up. So clearly more business is being outsourced to Pune.
Okay.
That's point number one. Point number two, just speaking about how cyclical impacts are there on the real estate space. At one point, there was a huge oversupply on the office side. I read so many articles at that point in time. Oversupply of office, oversupply of office. Everybody stopped building. Today, there's a short supply. The rents have gone through the roof. And the customer is still coming. So, demand is steady. The point I'm sort of correlating this to residential. Again, few years later, we're having the same discussion on residential. There's an oversupply. What are we talking about? 1 year of current inventory overhang. It can never be an equilibrium, otherwise the prices will again go up. So there has to be some supply there for the consumer. So 2 points. One is demand is steady and that has a direct cascading impact on residential. So residential absorption will continue to be there so long as the value offering is there, like Sonal mentioned. Absolutely no problem from my side.
So you're saying that there's 4.5 million square feet of office space that is looking at getting absorbed this year,
I would say even more now, the way things are flowing.
and that translates to how many jobs?
So only that space will be about 60,000 jobs.
Okay.
Add to that whatever the captives are taking up in Hinjewadi. So that is Infosys, Wipro, TCS. That's not part of this 4.5, 5 million square feet. That's a big play because Hinjewadi has already 2,75,000 jobs. And I'm not too sure how much is part of the campuses, but they're significant. So that, anybody's guess. But my guess is the total number of jobs, if that's your question,
Yes.
at an annual basis should be, including manufacturing, should be in the range of 100,000 jobs per annum. Including
100,000
manufacturing.
new jobs
Per annum.
being added
Yeah.
per annum
Yeah.
in the Pune region.
Yes. So includes office, IT, campuses, SEZs, manufacturing, and small service small SMEs is 100,000 odd jobs per annum. And we are saying in inventory overhang. So now out of this, there are X percentage of buyers plus the local Puneites, 5.5 million people living here. At some point, this will again get sort of,
Prices will go up again.
Yes, because other costs are not coming down. Your input costs are not coming down. So
Okay. So really, last question before we kind of open this up for a Q&A. What strategies should a customer adopt at this time? Buy, wait and watch, do their homework? Which type of project should they look at? Is there anything specific in terms of developer that they should look at? What would you advise a close relative who was looking at buying a home? Each of you, if you had a close relative who was looking at buying a home, what would be your advice to them today for a Pune, if they were thinking of buying a home in Pune today? Sonal, would you like to start?
Well, builder credentials very important because we just have to make sure that the product is right and it comes at the time or it comes as scheduled. So the builder credentials are going to be very important. Well, as far as the funding goes, I really don't know, but
Come to HDFC.
to HDFC.
Right. And timing? What's your view in terms? Is this the time to buy? Should they wait?
See, I would say it is most certainly the right time to buy, and I would only add add to this by saying that look, Pune, as I said earlier, has been a relatively stable market. And the one reason why Pune is the way it is because we've not seen irrational price increases. So if I were to, maybe do my bit and say, it's not advice, but suggest to the developer community of Pune, whilst we agree that the price increases have not happened and the prices can only go up from here, I think a stable price environment will certainly go a long way in encouraging the home buyers to actually take the decision. Because, as Mr. Katari also said earlier, a lot of people are sitting on the fence. And if we have to really make them take that decision, it's a stable price environment. Interest rates, we hope, are on their way down. Prices not increasing. And in the current market, if the right product comes in, if developers really compete with each other, vie with each other in trying to offer the customer a real value proposition and something different, something valuable, something really worth it, if I may use the word, then I think this is the right time for the customer, because I think in these times, customers can really get a real good product, because there is competition, there is a little bit of stress, and it is this stress that really makes people really make a value offering. So, as I said, this is a good time to buy, but I think, like in the past, we should make sure that prices also don't really rise, because I don't think a home buying decision is only to do with interest rates. It's probably less to do with interest rates and more to do with the house prices.
The house itself.
Yeah, so I think a stable environment will certainly go a long way.
Sanjay, what's your view?
I'll break it up into two, end users and investors. So for end users, again, you're not taking a 1-year position or a 2-year position. And if you historically track real estate over the last several years, I don't think anybody has not made money in real estate if you've invested over the long term. So long as the fundamentals are good, you've invested with the right developer, you got all the check marks and everything is correct. So if you're an end user, absolutely no harm in buying. The prices are very realistic. And with the other sectors of demand, office, manufacturing, industrial, all that put together, prices, there will be demand, so there will be a price appreciation. As far as pure investors are concerned, it will be research based buying. So which micro market to invest in, which developer to invest in, and where is the actual demand going to flow, and accordingly they can make their investment decision. But to your question, is it a good time to buy? I see no reason why.
So Kataria, what is your...
Yes, right time to buy with the right builder, with the right infrastructure, and your confidence, that the confidence of the purchaser with the builders. There might be some opportunities for the pre-launch or just launch project where the builder feels that thoda kam mein dete chalo, just to start that project. That advantage one can take, but I don't think that prices will come down as the natural increment in the various taxes, various premiums, construction cost, labor cost. Nobody can stop it. So every year there is going to be an inflation of 5 to 8%, and because of that one should not leave this opportunity to buy. At this time I will say that n number of good projects, good choices with the client, so they should take that advantage.